Station 11 is a story about people trying to rebuild after they lost everything. It focuses on things that the genre of post-apocalyptic storytelling doesn't typically get into.
Opening up auditions for one time only.
We only perform Shakespeare.
Fine. I loved the novel Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I thought that it was this really incredible, gentle balance between huge ideas, but very kind of small local stories.
What's gonna happen? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here.
I think in the DNA of Station 11, it really wanted to push away from the idea that life after civilization was lesser than life before.
It doesn't necessarily linger on that period of time where the most suffering is happening. Our story takes the moment just before that.
Is this because of that thing?
And then many years after that.
It's about a group of interconnected characters before, during, and after this flu pandemic that wipes out 98% of the human population.
People have rebuilt the world and managed to move forward.
I'd also say it's a creation story about unionization of people through love.
Station 11 is about how people relate to each other, or how relationships occur.
The threats that are out there don't have to do with humans turning on other humans. Maybe it wouldn't turn into a nightmare. Maybe anything was possible.
We have to abandon the future. All that matters is the now.
We started before I even heard the words COVID-19. We'd done 2 episodes. It's probably very rare where the audience are going to understand so implicitly what the characters are going through.
What we wanted to see is what people were doing later to find a way of surviving through music and art.
And you meet this group of people, the Traveling Symphony, who travel from town to town.
They've been going around and around Lake Michigan in a big circle, putting on Shakespeare for the last 20 years.
They've chosen this nomadic lifestyle as testament to their passion and dedication to their art and how much it sustains and keeps them alive.
When you're adapting for visual storytelling, you just need to find all sorts of ways to make sure your tone is saying the right thing.
The thing that really spoke to me about Patrick's take was that there's humor in it, and there's like an absurdist edge to what he wants to do.
I think post-apocalyptic and funny don't tend to go hand in hand, but I think the humor emerges out of really grounded moments.
We need protein.
Good shot.
It had such a human take on the genre. It was sort of subversive and wistful, and it was about the details of modern living rather than the loss and the devastation.
All the locations on this series are gigantic. These exteriors had to be huge, and they had to show the massiveness of nature with the tiny people who are just surviving.
One of the charms of what Patrick wrote is it's about art and this like Renaissance. And so that's where we wanted to approach the costumes, make the palette lively from the world that exists, because I feel like that's been very absent in a lot of the post-apocalyptic aesthetic.
What's important? What do we need? It's definitely more than shelter, water, and food. We need art. We need humor.
We should do this more, though. I mean, it's not like we have lives or anything.
That's why I think Station 11's not really a post-apocalyptic story. It's an adaptation of a brilliant novel about what's good, about people that they happen to be able to see in our story because the world gets swept away.